Good morning and welcome back to another rainy, cold spring morning. We're in the greenhouse at home. Just a quick update while I'm potting on my coriander, and really today's short video is just all about the importance of growing herbs early and just how versatile it is to keep them, store them, freeze them and just use them whenever you want to. Make use of that time. They have a short growing season, well, at least in the UK, when it gets a bit too warm. I have tried successional planting, but I haven't seen that works very well. You know, you have a bit of growth, and then when they're stunted plants, they then turn to seed. So I've just found that April and May time is the best time to grow your really lush green coriander. And you'll get a lot of top growth, which you can just cut down and rinse off and blunt or freeze on a tray, or straight into a bag in the freezer, and it's great for a few months in the freezer. So, and that's how I use it all the time, really, in cooking and in my soups and things like that. The other thing is the parsley. That's another thing that gets in the ground early. The only thing with growing things like that, coriander, early, as you may have seen from a previous video, is that when it's early season in the UK and it's rainy, it's really prime time for all of the sluggies to come out, and they have munched as well. So it is a bit of a challenge to grow your seeds in the cells or in trays and then get them into even raised beds or the ground, because you are facing that challenge of overnight slugs coming in and munching everything off. And unfortunately, I lost the whole of my first batch, which I did put in quite early. They would have been fine, temperature wise they would have been fine. So quite hardy, once you get them actually germinated indoors at say 15 to 20 degrees, then they are fine to go in the greenhouse, to be grown on the greenhouse, even from small seedlings. And that's what I did with the first batch throughout February. So now we're a bit further on. I mean, the temperatures hasn't come up very much. I'll just spin you around. At the moment it's 12.5 degrees centigrade in the greenhouse, but all of these things are absolutely fine. Celeriac growing on okay. Spinach and pak choi, these need to go in the ground now. They're quite big, but these are sort of spares for any replacements I might need. And these were my first sown parsley early on, and I'm just growing these in pots until they get really bushy, and then that's obviously a flat leaf parsley, which I haven't grown before. I grew a curly leaf last year, so I think this is just going to be, it's less strong and just a bit more versatile for using in salads and cooking and things like that. It seems that people prefer it. So yeah, a few bits and pieces, some fennel plants. Fennel I've taken down to the allotment, but I guess it's another herb, but I use it as a bulb. The dill is very slow to get going, but these will pick up as it warms up. But they are growing. They're finding their feet, so that's a good start for them. And 4 dill plants is really quite a lot. They will grow up into a big plant. So I'll just take you in and show you how I'm potting on my coriander. So here you see I have grown my little coriander seedlings in just a normal little tray. They were just covered lightly. They're about 2 weeks old now, I guess, maybe 10 to 14 days old. Just sprinkled around quite a few. I mean, they're usually quite good on the germination front, but it does depend what variety you get. There's not just one variety of coriander, there's quite a few different ones. Some are taller than others. I also have some mini parsley seedlings, and these took a little bit longer to come through, so I'm just going to leave those in there for a little bit longer. I'll give them a tiny bit of water and just let them come up a little bit more, so they're a bit easier to handle. But back to these, all I'm going to do is take these little long seedlings out and pop them into these cell trays. Now this seems quite overkill because they are quite a small plant, but I want to grow them on a bit bigger. So these 1 inch, I think they're like 1 inch cells are perfect really. So they don't run out of energy. They can grow on to make quite big plants before I get them in the ground, so they may not get eaten off. It will be a bit later in the season as well, so you know, hopefully they'll survive a bit better. I didn't have this sort of problem last year, you know, from later sowing, so they should be okay. But like I say, coriander is one of my favorite herbs. They will have quite a long taproot. As you take them out, you can see how long this taproot is. So make sure that when you're planting them on, that you've got the whole thing. Just wiggle it around, it's fine. I kind of just use like a little pencil dibber to get them nice and tucked down. And really you can bury them quite deeply in there. And I'll probably top them up with a bit more compost at the end. Just like that. So yeah, herbs this time of year are very important. And like I say, you can get the crop, you can take the crop from them when, you know, before they turn to seed and they're full of the top growth. Just chop it right down to the ground and, you know, stick it in your freezer. And then you can use the space that they've been in for something else a bit later on. But I don't find this very successful, you know, when it gets too hot to no matter how much watering you give them and care you give them, a bit of shade cloth and everything, they do tend to go to seed a bit later on in the season. So yeah, thanks for watching. Enjoy your spring seedlings and watching everything grow. And I'll see you later.